to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, 2.7 million wheelchair users live in the United States. Imagine that you're one of them. It's late at night and you're ready for bed. You could call your PCA up to help you. According to the Department of Human Services, a PCA, or personal care attendant, is a healthcare professional trained to help with activities of daily living. However, it's late and you're tired. You don't want to wait for someone to come all the way upstairs. You've been practicing transfers and physical therapy. Now, it's time to put those skills to use. I'm Robin Clark, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to transfer from a power wheelchair onto the edge of a bed using an assistive device. There are 3 main steps in how to do that: positioning, transitioning, and adjusting. According to the CDC, 26% of adults in the U.S. live with a disability, and this speech will increase your awareness of the disabled community. Let's begin by transitioning to the front of the bed. The first step is to position yourself in front of your assistive device as best works for you. Align it as best you can with the device, and the next step depends on what type of wheelchair you have. According to Carmen Healthcare, if you have a wheelchair with a tilt feature, you should lower the wheelchair into a seated position. To do this, press the mode button on your chair and tilt the joystick forward. Now that it is in a fully seated position, you can move on to the next step of lifting the footrest. There are many ways you can do this, but I found that the best way is to move your feet in front of the wheelchair so that it's out of the way of the footrest. Hold on to the grab bar and pull yourself forward, and in some cases adjust the chair. And now that your feet are out of the way of the footrest, bend down and lift it up. From there, you'll slide your feet back underneath you so you have a firm base of support and slide to the end of the chair. Make sure to turn your chair off so that it doesn't roll while you're standing up. And I know that you may feel like you're going to fall when you're seated like this and kind of lean forward, but that's okay, because that will make the next step of standing up easier, because it will help you get your momentum forward. So lean forward, and with your weight on your feet, push yourself up into a standing position. Now that you're standing, you move into step 2 of the transfer, which is transitioning. If you need to, you can reach back and slide the wheelchair out of the way. Grab back on to the bar and sidestep to the right until you're at the end of the bar. It may help to have your leg against the side of the bed because it will help you with stability and not feeling like you're going to fall. So from here, you're going to let go of the bar, turn and sit in one motion, just like this. Now you're seated and you move on to step 3 of the transfer, which is adjusting. So put your hands on either side of you, slide your feet back underneath you, lean forward and push yourself back. And you do that as many times as you feel necessary until you feel like you're not going to fall off the edge of the bed. Congratulations, you have successfully transferred from your wheelchair onto the edge of your bed without assistance from anyone else. Now, I know this may seem difficult at first, but really, it's just a series of steps. In this case, it's position, transition, and adjust. Position. Put your wheelchair in front of the bed and align it with the grab bar as you see fit. Once you're happy with where it is, you lower your wheelchair down into a seated position if it's not already there. Remember to push the joystick forward when you do this. Then, you move your feet out of the way, lean down, and push up the footrest. If you're not already at the edge of your chair, slide yourself forward until you're at the edge of the chair, and with both hands on this grab bar, lean forward and pull yourself up into a standing position. Then you move into part 2 of the transfer, which is transitioning. Move to the end of the grab bar, and then in one motion, let go, turn, and sit. That puts you in step 3, which is adjusting. So you put both hands on either side of you, lean forward, and push yourself back until you're happy with where you are on the end of the bed. Now, it's important to note that A2ZDirectCare.com says that transitioning is a highly individualized process depending on the individual's skill level and their strength. Again, congratulations. You have successfully transferred from your wheelchair onto the edge of your bed independently. Remember to take it day by day and be patient with yourself, and know that you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. I'll now open up the floor for questions.
Do you think that you would be able to transfer without the grab bar, or would it be a lot more difficult? Or in that case, what would you do to transfer?
So I could transfer without the grab bar. It would be, like you said, a lot more difficult. I would have to grab onto the edge of the frame of the bed and kind of use that to stabilize myself. I can do it, but it's not as safe as using this transfer bed rail. Nicole?
Did you learn how to transfer by yourself, or is that a technique you learned in therapy?
I learned this in years of physical therapy. They guided me on like the best ways to transfer, how to make sure I stayed stable so that I didn't feel like I was gonna fall. But then I kind of took what they told me and adapted it to the way that this room was set up.
I have a question.
Okay.
So you transitioned so beautifully in this environment, but could you tell me if you could be able to transfer in another environment?
I could. It would really depend on how the environment was set up and kind of what tools I had, because right now I use my wheelchair, but other times I use my walker. So it would just kind of depend on how the room was set up and what I was in when I was transferring. Thank you guys so much.
Yay.